Hey everybody, Gregifer here with some major updates that'll affect the channel and everyone watching, but will especially affect those who have been generously subscribing to my Patreon and have been supporting the channel financially. Recently, Patreon has announced changes to acquiesce to the Apple App Store's policies, meaning that A, if you subscribe to Patreon through the Apple App Store, you'll be subject to a 30% store fee, so maybe thinking about subscribing through your PC instead. And B, Patreon will no longer be supporting the per creation billing model, which is what I've been using since the very beginning. This has been incredibly frustrating and counter to my philosophy as a video creator. I average about 3 videos a month, but if something comes up and I only make 2 videos that month, you pay less for less work. That's been very pertinent this year, which has seen a great decline in videos because of my living situation. Since I simply have no choice now, and if everything goes as it should, my Patreon will switch to per month billing sometime in the first week of November. They say sometime between the 4th and the 8th. Unfortunately, I can't give you an exact day because the process of making this change is needlessly complicated on the side of Patreon. You can't just flip a switch. You have to get in contact with a Patreon employee through email, who may or may not be a robot, and they schedule the switch months away. I tried to get this going on September 2nd, and it took more than a month for them to tell me that the switch will happen vaguely within the first week of November. Thanks a bunch, guys. So what will this mean for you? First off, you will want to consider how much you're giving. If you subscribe at $1 per video with the expectation of 3 videos a month, you may want to consider updating your subscription to $3 a month once the switchover has happened. Obviously, how much you subscribe for is entirely up to you. Whatever you're happy with and whatever you're comfortable with. Second thing to consider is time of billing. It is my understanding that for Patreon's per month billing model, you are billed the day you subscribed to a Patreon, instead of the end of the month system that the per creation model uses. So for example, if you subscribe for a Patreon on the 15th of a given month, you are billed every 15th. So if you have certain days of the month where being billed would be inconvenient, like before a paycheck arrives, you may want to consider unsubscribing, waiting until a more appropriate date, and then resubscribing. Now let's talk about subscriber reward tiers. They're going to have to be readjusted. Once the switchover happens, it'll shake out like this. $1 a month will still get your name in the credits, just as before. Getting the little advertising spots at the end of most videos where you can promote your channel, podcast, book, etc., that will be now set at $3 a month. And I'll be needing those who wish to continue with that reward to send me fresh links and information, or at the very least a keep things the same message so I can get all of that sorted. For early access and extra content, yes, I know I need to do better with the extra content stuff, that tier will be bumped up to $10 a month, which is actually theoretically cheaper than it was at $5 a video when I was making 3 videos a month. So that's a lot to think about, and further adjustments may need to be made as this switch develops. Keep an eye out for further updates on my social medias. I'll try to answer all questions that I can, and I'm sorry these changes are being forced on all of us. However this ends up shaking out, thank you so much for supporting me and this channel of mine. Being able to support myself making silly little videos has been a privilege that I don't take lightly. Here's to the future.